3.5 hours, do this together, man. It starts with us, it ends with us.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
We all about winning. That's what we gonna be about. Ain't that what Clint Kubiak said? We about winning. About winning. Which quarterback give us the best opportunity to win? That's my argument. I felt like I hope you guys really hacked into that Good Raider show, the Raider bad guy. I guess I kicked off my new name. I mean, I gave myself my name, the Raider bad guy. Make way for the bad guy. And I was planning on coming on doing the show talking about um after that show, after I was going to talk about Peterson and his comments, but we talked so much about it, I didn't want to do that show anymore. So I will do that tomorrow. But I did want to address something that keeps reoccurring, that keeps coming up, and people keep saying, I love Kirk Cousins," and I'm like, "Nah, I'm coming to find out, nah, y'all just hate Kirk Cousins. It's not that I love Kirk Cousins, it's that a lot of fans hate Kirk Cousins. And what do you usually hate? Something that you don't know. You hate something that you don't know. The fear of not knowing something, you're just gonna naturally just reject it. And and I will admit though, I've seen a lot of people overlooking Kirk Cousins, and I'm like, why are we overlooking Kirk Cousins? I'm like, he's a competent quarterback. Matter of fact, he arguably better than Derek Carr. I mean, like, based on a lot of the arguments that I hear, not winning playoffs or going to the playoffs, and then this guy does it, but then you use that against him and didn't win the Super Bowl, which I get. I never said that we were going to win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins. I never even said we went to the playoffs with Kirk Cousins. And the reason why me and Ben crashed out because he kept trying to tell me that I said 10 wins. And I was like, no, I never said that. I've never said that. So I'm starting to understand people are thinking I have this thought process. And I thought I'd come for tailgate Thursday before Thursday end on the West Coast to kick it off. I don't know if you guys remember. I'm gonna get to the chat because I see y'all popped up. I was just seeing if anybody was gonna be up this late. But back in Oakland when they used to have tailgates, they used to start on Thursday nights. Some people used to take off work on Friday. They load up the motorhome and they show up at the Coliseum Thursday night and they kick it off Friday and they barbecue and get the food ready Saturday. So when Sunday jump off in the morning, all they have to do is warm up their food, throw it on the grill and warm it up. They don't have to cook and they can tailgate, get drunk, get blitzed, get everything, get ready for the game, get ready for the game. So I'm gonna start doing something like that. I'm gonna do a tailgate Thursdays, which will probably be my late night shows like this. And then on Friday night, or maybe even Saturday night, I have what is going to be called Fight or Flight Club. Yes, Fight or Flight Club. You heard it right. It's going to be a debate show for people to come up, and we're going to have a panel. It's going to be a full panel of people. And if it get to a point where we all want to see two people individually go back for a specific amount of time and go back and forth, then we're going to do that. So it's going to be called Fight or Flight Club. Um, so I'm announcing that now. Let me get to the chat because these are some of the real Raider late nighters. Sacktown Raider Mike was good with you, brethren. Frank Webb, you know what it is, brother. We the people. Yes, yes. So before we can win, we have to stop losing first. Weber, you get it. You get it. That's why when I said stabilize the quarterback position, people take my words, or not just tonight, but just in general, take my words and use the most uh, hyperbolic meaning of it. Can we not agree that our quarterback position has been unstable since Derek Carr, even before he left? McDaniels made sure it was unstable, and so we didn't know who we gonna get. We didn't know who was the obvious number one. I guess we don't know who the obvious number one quarterback is now either. But I do. I do. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're gonna see soon enough because people really believe that we have this quarterback competition that's gonna happen in camp. And I'm like, they're gonna name the quarterback within the first two games, not within, but probably right after the second game, or not say nothing at all. I don't know for sure. But I'm thinking about after the second game, we're gonna know who our starting quarterback is. Because you're not gonna play all three preseason games and say, okay, cool, let's look at the tape and figure out who we gonna play, who we gonna start, and then start building the team at that point. I don't think it's gonna happen like that. So I don't know. Let me see. It's called ignorance when you have an opinion on something you know nothing about. Um, that is what ignorance is, or the lack of knowledge of. And that's the reason why I even try to bring that's where a lot of my frustration come from, because I'm like, I'm not telling y'all something from me how I feel. I'm just giving y'all the information that I'm using. This is the information I'm using. And a lot of time when I'm going back and forth with people, it's not because of what I think or what I'm saying. I'm basing it off what you're telling me right now. Yeah, you giving me you make a comment. Her cousin hasn't been good in 3 years. And I'm like, wait, 3 years? He's only been hurt like two. Well, he wasn't hurt last year, but he was coming back 1 year removed from the injury. And then they, well, not just tonight, want to add this year as a third year to bolster the argument. And I'm like, it hasn't been 3 years. And then when you say, well, it's a lot of this and there's a lot of that, and I'm like, okay, name them. And then you go get the outlier, go get the one off, or like I said, the outliers. If it's 20 people or if it's 10, you're gonna pick the two that do it. But then there's eight that hasn't. And then I'm saying, well, I'm looking at the eight, and the eight says that if you in this situation 8 out of 10 times, that person is only going to get 3 to 4 wins. So then when somebody says, well, he's going to get 6 or 7, I'm like, well, what are you basing that on? What do you bet? Well, we don't know. Like, yeah, we don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I don't even know if I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And then when you go to that far in the argument, there is no argument really. But my thing is, it's not that I love Kirk Cousins. I'm just looking at it as objective as I can. I do like Kirk Cousins, yes. I'm glad we got Kirk Cousins, yes. I'm wondering why people are overlooking him like he's chopped liver. And it wasn't even until I said to the Raider Nation that, how are y'all saying that about Kirk Cousins and he got 7 4,000 yard seasons? Our whole franchise only got 6, and he has 7 himself. Didn't wasn't nobody saying that. Now it's people crashing. I don't care how many yards he had, and that's a long time ago. But then we can use this conversation like, well, if he's a backup and he's won a Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers ain't won a Super Bowl in hella long. Like y'all act like it's a whole different NFL since then. But we can put these qualifiers into things, and there's a lot of quarterbacks that's older that played well. Matt Stafford just won MVP. And at the beginning of last year, everybody was not everybody, a lot of people were saying he's not even gonna play, he's not even gonna start the season because his back, which his back was hurting him. But he had an MVP season. You want to know why that older quarterbacks succeed than younger ones? Because you can fool younger quarterbacks better than you can an old veteran who's all seen it all almost. I mean, way more than a rookie has. He knows the speed, the timing, he knows the personnel, he knows the plays, he knows the alignment, he knows the audibles, he knows the line shifts, he knows the footwork from under center. And we're going to take a person who's take 3 snaps his whole collegiate career and say, okay, well, he won the Heisman and he was the number one pick, so he should be on this level. Tom Brady himself said that just because you were that in college don't make you that in the pros. because year two, you're gonna just be another player like everybody else. That don't matter what you did in college like that. So it's not that I love Kirk Cousins. It's not that because people were saying the same thing to me about Geno Smith, and I was trying to tell people then, look, y'all can not like Geno Smith. Y'all can say what y'all want about Geno Smith. Smith, look at this 1 year in a bottle or under the microscope and define his whole career based on how he played with the Raiders. When we already know that it was a lot of infighting, the offensive coordinator was sabotaging him because he thought he was going to get him kicked out of there so he can get him another quarterback and also be the head coach because Pete Carroll wasn't going to be here that long. You can't outplay your system. The quarterback can't outplay the system. The team can't outplay the system. So let me see what y'all saying. I don't know. I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation tonight because it was a good one. They will play him the whole season if they could. Yes, and this is the whole thing. I'm basing my I'm even basing my my analysis on that. I'm basing it on that too. They literally said in a perfect world he would sit. So in the perfect world, the quarterback that they brought in won't get hurt, so he could sit a whole year in this perfect world, creating your own perfect world. But we don't know if Cousins is going to get hurt or not. Knock on wood, if you with me. But in a perfect world, we will sit him not behind just any quarterback because if you could have just sat him behind just any quarterback, we would have done it with Aiden O'Connell. We wouldn't have had to bring in Kirk Cousins. Obviously, obviously, Kubiak has more confidence running with Kirk Cousins than he would with AOC. Matter of fact, he got more confidence running with Kirk Cousins than he would with Mendoza at this point. Maybe if we had an O line, our O line was middle tier already, it would be a different conversation. But we got a brand new key O line. We got a brand new key O line coach. We got a brand new key quarterback. We got a brand new key offensive coordinator. We got a brand new key defensive coordinator. We got a brand new key defense. We got brand new key safeties. Like everything is we got brand new key kicking team. Other than the punter, everything is brand new. But the same people that sit there and say we should start him game one, Mendoza, will also be the same people that say, well, I don't know what the O line is gonna do. So let me know that you're looking at this as an object as a emotional fan. You don't know how good the O line is, but you want to stick the guy out there anyway. How is that? That's not responsible. And then not only that, even if you felt that way and you put it up against what franchise is saying, it's not the same. It's not lining up. And then you want to go so far and say, well, now I'm questioning the coach now. Why? Because you don't agree with it. You agree with everything else they've done, the signings, the draft picks, the all that. No, it ain't even that. Now I think about it, because you don't agree with the draft pick, because a lot of the same people are the ones that said we should trade back, or they don't think we should have got Mendoza, or that he wasn't even a quality quarterback this year, that he would be in a different round. These same people. So these same people essentially want us to fail just so they can be right. So they can keep crashing out talking about, see, the Raiders are gonna Raider. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that because I could tell when the sabotage is on. No different than when I know somebody trying to low key be disrespectful, or throw a rock and hide their hand, or act one way offline and then act a different way online. Like I know the difference. I can see the difference, and I'm not going to tolerate that to a certain degree. That's why most of the time you guys will see me when I start flipping out. flipping out because I'm always in control for the most part. Like I can't remember when I've lost it to the point where I want to get mad at somebody and I want to take it personal. I haven't got to that point. I just feel like if you have an opinion, that's cool. I got an opinion too, and I'm basing it off of this. What are you basing yours off of? Okay, so let me see what y'all saying, man. I guess we're both knuckleheads, Frank. Oh, let me see. Thanks, Mike. Glad you understand my knucklehead logic. Let me see. I missed something. Everyone wants to play with the new toy. That's why it's usually the first one that gets broken. What? You know what, man? I need to start writing these down, man. Web, do you not like camming up or something? Because I need you on the show, bro. Because I trust your judgment, and if you told me something about me or something I'm doing, I would definitely take it into consideration. I do that anyway with anybody. That's why I'm even making this live because people are saying that I love Mendoza. I mean, I love Kirk Cousins. Y'all said the same thing about me and Geno Smith. I love quarterback play. I love competent quarterback play. Do I think Geno was the most competent quarterback? No. But I told people what I thought about him. I said he's a 50-50 quarterback. It kind of depends on what's going on. He can throw you 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. He can throw you 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. And best believe that next game, he can throw you 1 and 2. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. It just depends. It depends on the play calling. Now, looking at his last couple seasons, he was trending up. He was playing good. Now, had we would have had a competent play caller and an O line coach that actually helped develop our players, then we could have played at a better standard. Our defense was already middle tier at 15. Like, I get that. But they went down because our offense couldn't score 14 points a game. Now listen to that. It used to be in the league where if you win 21 point, if the defense can hold you to 21, you win the game. Now that the offense is so prolific, now it's more like 28 points. Let's just say 24 points. We couldn't score 14 points consistently. We knew by the time the other team got 21, the game was over. We weren't coming back. I know with this offense, we're going to score more than 14 points. I know that. Everybody want, but I definitely, yeah, definitely well said. I definitely need to write down his quotes. What's up with Amber? Oh no, I didn't think he was calling me ignorant. No, a lot of people are ignorant. I'm ignorant about some things. He said the thing is they love Kirk Cousins. No, I don't think they know about Kirk Cousins because they didn't. Because a lot of people didn't realize how good he was. Because once I said, he threw for 4,000 yards 7 times, like that, you can't overlook that. That's a wild stat. I don't care. And then if you want to sit there and say how long it's been, like he legit been that guy all his career. Sometimes circumstances will keep you out of the starting position. For example, Atlanta. Atlanta saw what I seen and was like, okay, they got Kirk Cousins. But then somebody probably got in that ear and was like, he old. We got a chance to get a young quarterback. Penix is a flyer, but we think you can get a steal with him. And so somebody talked the front office into doing that. And Kirk Cousins was like, well, why y'all give me the bag and y'all go get a quarterback? Like y'all got me looking over my shoulder now. So now you can tell in the office at the facility that they're divided now. It's probably some that want Kirk, some wanted Penix. So eventually the coach was like, we're gonna run with Penix because Kirk Cousins is too old or whatever. Or Kirk Cousins got hurt or whatever it is, the situation. Then they put Penix in, Penix gets hurt. Now you got to go back to Kirk and then ask Kirk, so, Kirk, I mean, are you his mentor? Heck no, I'm not his mentor. That's not the supposition, the presupposition that I was brought in here under. Be a to be a to be a coach to this kid. I'll teach him how to study and all that, but I'm not about to sit here and help him beat me out of my position. And y'all brought him through the back door. Matter of fact, Penix said there was nobody helping him. Whose fault is that? Kirk Cousins? No, that's the franchise fault and whoever he around. And so then they played this little game, quarterback games, and then Kirk Cousins have to come back in because Penix get hurt. Then what does Kirk Cousins do? Win 5 games out of like 7 or 8 games. He was the only quarterback out of the two that had a winning record. So now when it all blew up in their face, they lost Kirk Cousins. They got to pay most of his salary to the team that he went to. The coach that was there is no longer there. Then the GM is gone. So you tell me who was out of line there? Kirk Cousins? So I'm looking at Kirk Cousins, what he's been doing every situation. I'm just mad that he didn't get a chance to go play for a team for like 6, 7, 8 years. He played for Minnesota for a while and he threw up numbers. And they wasn't just inflated numbers. They I don't know if people know. If you go look on the all-time list, the top list, Kirk Cousins is up there. It's a reason why he's making all that money, not because, well, his agent is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but it's not because he doesn't have nothing to back it up with. If you got something to back it up with, it's easy to walk into the office and be like, "Hey, you guys need a veteran quarterback, and well, I'm not giving you just a regular veteran quarterback. Uh, this ain't no, and I don't even want to call him no backup quarterbacks out, but so he got a chance to take you some places. Especially if you're at the bottom, you can't be finicky and bougie and say, "Oh, we did have 3 wins last year, but I don't want an 8-win quarterback. I'd rather go with this 6-win quarterback and try to build for the next 10 years." Well, yeah, that's why y'all end up at the bottom like that because y'all think like that. But that's just my opinion based on what I've seen teams do, based on what I've seen history. Yeah. Let's see. Uh, let's see. See. Things going like. I wonder why. I guess we're both knuckleheads. Okay. Calling me weird, strange, out of character, a knucklehead, whatever. Just don't call me normal. Normal is boring, right? Not the Raiders are going to Raiders. They are. Yeah, absolutely. Two teams definitely need to score at least once per quarter. Like, come on, man. 14 points? But we're gonna blame that on Geno Smith though. That ain't why we was scoring 14 points, because we wasn't running the ball. We weren't predictable. And the play callings that we were calling, it wasn't a lot of variation to it. It was usually one main prior, what they call it, like your primary read. Like they didn't have no check down where you throw the ball to Genty right there in the middle of the field if the play don't work. The defense could tell. All you had to do is look at the philosophy of what the play was. Then we brought in a college coach that got ran out the NFL a long time ago, and he yeah, in college you're a god in college because you set the NFL level. It don't go the other way around. That's why when I hear these arguments about what he did in college, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, it's just very minimal. Very minimal it matters. Because you got to prove yourself at this level. No different than if you was in high school. Everybody's dope in Pop Warner. They go to a certain high school. Everybody kind of dope. Not everybody on the team, but what you did in high school don't matter in college because everybody in college was that guy in high school. Even some guys that wasn't even that guy was can be that guy, and he wasn't even the guy in high school. Okay. Also, mentor stuff is overrated. Why would someone who wants play mentor you? Yeah, you got your coaching staff for that. I'm not helping you take my job, hey, bro. But they gotta say the right things because of the optics. Like it goes like this, bro. I'm gonna teach you everything you know, not everything I know. Yeah, I'll teach you a couple things, but some things that you gonna learn after year one anyway, year two or something, right? I'm not about to tell you how to make the receiver do certain things in certain situations when I need to one up you, even if it was a quarterback competition. Why would I give this guy the ammo to beat me? This is a business. NFL is a business. It ain't sports entertainment at that. So yeah, Macho Man Randy Average. I love it. Bringing Kirk in was the smartest move. He knows what he has there, so he can keep you in the games. And Mendoza gets time to learn the system and the playbook. Yeah, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. It's not complicated. It's not Elon Musk rocket science. It's not. I promise you, it's not. It's just that simple. And then I question. Well, no, I'm not going to even question it. It's just that the Raiders haven't been in this situation that many times that they kind of understand how it goes. But even if that was the case, we did know what Clint Kubiak did is something so unorthodox that people are trying to use traditional ways to go about it. And traditionally, it still don't work what they're talking about. 25, 82, and 2. That stat is so prolific. It's other content creators that try to stretch it out to 15 years, whatever, but the numbers are still the same. Like you could put this number one quarterback in and they don't succeed. So what makes you think that Kirk, I mean, what makes you think that Mendoza's going to come in, win 7 games, when in the last 10 years, 24 was won in the last 10 years? What makes Mendoza that? What makes Mendoza better than, what makes Mendoza better than Joe Burrow? Even Josh Allen. I don't think he's Joe Burrow or Josh Allen coming out of college, even though he got the Heisman and the Natty. I don't think he's at that level. Now, I don't know what level he's on though. That part I don't know. If anybody hit a wall, I think Mendoza hit a wall before Kirk Cousins will. And what I mean, like, I'm talking about for this year, if they were both to play, like, if you were to put Mendoza in, right, I think Mendoza would dip down first and further than Kirk Cousins would. I think that's what Kubiak is thinking as well, because that's why they brought him in. And it's rare that you see that you get a number one draft pick that's a quarterback, and you have a quarterback on the roster that's willing to, I mean, that's either as good as you or better. Usually the quarterbacks are half as good as the one that you're bringing in. That's why you're in position to pick a quarterback. The Rams picked a quarterback in the first round. It ain't because it ain't because Ty Simpson is him. Matter of fact, it was probably a reach getting him where they got him. But it wasn't because of his talent. It was about opportunity and potential talent. Because best believe, knock on wood, that if Stafford go down, they're going to go get another quarterback. They're going to go get a Kirk Cousins if he available. They're not just going to throw Bud Ty Simpson in there, and if they do, guess what? They're gonna be picking number one or number two, and then they'll draft a quarterback, and then whoever they draft to come in is going to be the presumable starter. Or you can say there's a quarterback competition, which it could be, but because you usually don't bring in quarterbacks a year like first rounder and then go get another first round quarterback. That usually don't happen. But if Ty Simpson was to come in because the Stafford is out, they're going to go get a veteran quarterback. They're not going to go right back to the draft unless they're going to get rid of. They're gonna get rid of one of them. They both not gonna be on. Then you're gonna be looking like Cleveland. Then you're gonna be looking like Cleveland. They had an old head quarterback, drafted two quarterbacks, and they got a quarterback on the books. An old head quarterback gets ran out of town in the first half of the season. Then the second quarterback come in and he couldn't cut it. But then the third string quarterback comes in and he's better than the second string quarterback. But don't forget that you still got that other quarterback that is making all the money. And so now there's a quarterback competition between the guy that was making all the money and the third string quarterback. That's what y'all want. That's what y'all want going on in Raider land. We already was confused with the Garoppolos and the Minshews and the Geno Smith. Y'all want to do that now? I just think it's because a lot of people don't understand and they're not knowing what Kirk Cousins brings to the table. So the first thing, obvious thing that they're gonna say was his age. Which reminds me, let me ask this question. Okay, Google. In the last 15 years, what was the average age of the quarterback that won the Super Bowl?
I can help with this. What about them? Share thoughts so I can help you out. The average age of an NFL starting quarterback over the last 15 years has generally hovered between 28 and 29 years old. The 2010s saw a slightly higher average of around 29.3 years due to a wave of long-lasting elite veterans like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers playing deep into their late 30s and 40s. More recently, the average has dipped closer to 28 as a surge of younger dual-threat quarterbacks has entered the league.
And that's just recently because a lot of the top is what I was going to say. A lot of the top tier quarterbacks is young, right? But that's what I'm saying. Even our top tier quarterbacks, they're overrated. That's why I say Justin Herbert's overrated. I say Joe Burrow window closing, and it looks like Josh Allen window closing because they changing up everything. They went and got a new coach. Because last year they had a chance to go through that thing without Mahomes being in the way, and they couldn't get it done. So of course it's going to be young quarterbacks, 'cause those are the veterans of the league right now. But who won the Super Bowl though? The old guy who won the Super Bowl last year. Oh no, Sam Darnold ain't that old. Sam Darnold ain't that old. Darnold ain't that old. Hold on. How old is Sam Darnold? So he's 29, about to be 30. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, please don't remind us about Philly's playbook, play calling. Yeah, my bad. He said that guy in the last video seemed to think that college and the good Raider is good. He's good. But he probably not watching them. But like he messaged me. He said he's gonna start looking at Kirk Cousins a little more. And I guess I should do a video about Kirk Cousins, but I didn't want to really do that because everybody's gonna move the goalposts and talk about how old he is and how he ain't been. You know how people do with arguments. He last 2 years his numbers is going down. Like, bro, he ain't even played. He we let him play half the season, and then when he played half the season, he won majority of the games. What y'all overlooking that? If this doesn't make sense, you gotta look at the history of a lot of the first round busts, not just at quarterback. Yeah, just not, especially just not at quarterback. Oh, you talking about yeah, Angelo and Randy and Lanny Popoff? I remember them guys. It's wrestling, right? Macho got it. I was Don Morocco fan. Oh, The Rock, the original Rock. So, so it's not that I love Kirk Cousins. is that y'all hate Kirk Cousins. Not all y'all, some of y'all just hate Kirk Cousins. And I don't know why you hate him. Like, why? Oh, because you want to see Mendoza play. Because if you see Mendoza play and then we don't, and he don't play good, then you can say, see, why did we pick him number one? Because if you're the number one quarterback, you should be good enough to start. That's conventional wisdom. But we're not in a conventional situation. We're in a better situation. This is the thing I'm starting to really like trip out about Raider fans. Like even when things go good, you look at them bad. So everything that's bad is not bad. Is because we're looking at it that way. Case in point, Max Crosby. We go out and revamp our defense. Whether you love what he did, love what he said, hate what he said, hate what he did, hate how he went about it, all of that. We were able to revamp our defense and get our franchise, face of the franchise, best defensive player back on our team without it being no financial problems, without the league coming in talking about they about to take draft picks or something janky. We were able to get by with that. Same thing with this Kirk Cousins situation. We were blessed to get the number one pick. Blessed that from the football guys that we don't even have to stick him out there game one if we don't have to. Take out some of the inherent risk. We got him for 5 years. We about to give the man $50 million, but y'all want to run him out there. So then, God forbid, if something was to happen, like it normally it does a lot of times, just like Peterson was talking goofy. Yeah, Carson Wentz got his whole career wrecked behind him. The only reason why we know Peterson is because of Nick Foles, and the GM signed him in Week 14 because we wouldn't even know who he was if he didn't win no Super Bowl. If he was so nice, why wouldn't they give him another quarterback, Trevor Lawrence? And we know Trevor Lawrence is capable. Why you couldn't do nothing with Trevor Lawrence? You got fired there too. Because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about when it comes to that. So we're in a position, we're looking in the gift horse in the mouth again. We got a quarterback that's competent enough. It's better than Geno Smith, better than Gardner Minshew, better than Garoppolo. Like, but we overlooking them. But y'all, but them same people was all hanging from Garoppolo nads. They didn't really like Minshew so much. People didn't really like Minshew so much, and I'm like, yeah, I like Minshew. I like his swag. I see his upside. I know he was a better quarterback than AOC, just based on skill, not because of how I like him or anything like that. Just based on skill. If I seen a person do something, and I've seen them do it multiple times, and even if it's been a little while that I haven't seen them do it again, if they're still competing, I think they have a chance to at least do it or simulate almost doing it. Versus a person I seen try to do it and ain't never done it. Matter of fact, every year he tried to do it, it gets worse. The first time he tried to jump across the bank, he didn't land on the bank, but he landed in the water, but he cleared up most of the water. Then the second year, second time he tried, he jumped, he fall right in the middle of the lake and get hurt. And then the third try, he trips and fall, busts his head before he even jumps, and then he slide in the water a little bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna sit and then but I got this guy that I ain't seen do it in 3, 4, 5 years or whatever, but I seen him do it like 4 or 5 times. You telling me I'm about to pick the dude that slid on his face and landed in the water over the guy that I've seen do it 4 or 5 times, even if it was 3, 4 years ago? Although it ain't been that long, but I'm just saying, come on. That's just logic. Logic. They ain't got nothing to do with how I feel about either one of them. Are y'all? Does that make sense? What I'm saying, or is it just late, man? Let's see. It's youthful erosion. They want to erode the old guy so that the young guy looks better. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me let that marinate. Let me let that marinate. I'm gonna just let that sit on its own. I'm not even gonna say nothing else about that. That is what it is. If the young guy wants to be better, he has to learn it to earn it. But the thing about it is, those people, well, I won't even say those people. Let's say Mendoza. Mendoza understands his role better than the fans do. You don't hear Mendoza talking about I'm going in to try to start from game one. He might be trying to, but he know what his role is. He's saying I'm at the bottom. I got a lot of work to put in. I'm just gonna try to get 1% better. I need to do my 1/11th. That's the antithesis of saying, "Oh, I think I want to be a starter in this league, and I feel like I should get my chance." That sounds like something Mendoza could say. I'm the number one pick. I won this. I won that. I went undefeated. I've showed this. I've showed that. I won an ESPY. Let me see. I got a video, I think. Let me see. And what you're saying applies to most, if not all, professional sports, not just football. Most guys in baseball and hockey play for years in AA, AAA, or AHL before being called up to pro teams. Yeah, because it's a process. You can't just, we're trying to build a dynasty, and it takes years. It's not, you go add one player and then the dynasty cracks off. Because even with the Warriors in their dynasty, we got Wardell 30. Then we got Draymond and Clay. And even with them, we still had to get other players around them. And then it started cracking. We didn't just add Steph Curry to the team and then we started balling. Although Steph Curry is the guy like Mendoza could arguably be the best player on our team. I mean, I'm talking using hindsight because right now he's not. No different than Steph Curry wasn't the best player on the team when he first came because Monte Ellis was better than him, but we got rid of Monte Ellis because we had a plan. We had a process that we were trying to follow. So much that they got rid of Mark Jackson because he didn't fit the scheme. Now, whether they should have did that or not, I don't know. Well, I do know because you can look at the results. Well, man, Mark Jackson could have won more championships. Well, he could have won no championships too. I mean, looking at Steve Kerr resume, I would say Steve Kerr was going to win a championship before Mark Jackson was. How do I know that? Oh, yeah. Well, Mark Jackson played with the Knicks, and he does have some playoff experience and finals experience. But Steve Kerr played with Jordan and won championships, and played with Popovich and won championships, and was a GM, and knows the triangle. Like, of course, I'm going to pick this guy. Mm-mm. Let me see. I'm just saying, like, but like I said, I think people are just saying a lot of these things, and I don't think this applies to the good Raider, but I think Many people are saying this so that they can be right at the end of the day when it comes to Mendoza. Because they really want to see Mendoza go out there and not succeed. And they can hedge their bet because if Mendoza do succeed, then they can act like they always liked Mendoza. I probably should go back into a lot of these people's archives at the beginning of this, because I at the beginning of this off season, because I know I went to some of these creative content creators draft party that they threw to see how they responded to the draft picks. And now all of a sudden everybody in love with Stooks. Well, I know I was one of the first ones in love with the pick. I was in love with the pick the moment it was done. I was like, nice, we got a safety. We need another one now. When everybody was crashing out about the D tackle. And then we went and got a lineman. Everybody felt some type of way about that. And I was like, how? When people were saying the first thing we needed to address in the draft, other than quarterback, was O line, which wasn't true. We needed to address the safety position first. But okay, that's subjective. You could have did it the other way around. You could have went and got a O lineman for so. But my thing was, we went and got an O lineman, and everybody got mad. Oh, I don't know what the Raiders are going to do. Spike Tech, what is Spike Tech doing, man? I mean, like, who's this Stooks guy? He's a corner. Didn't even do no homework on the guy. He's a corner. What we get a corner for? He's a nickel guy. Like, bro, he plays safety. He played most of his career. Bro, last year he played free safety. Like, once y'all do your homework, go listen to the guy. Go watch some games. He's a better safety. He's a better free safety than Paul Mao. Which reminds me, I gotta do a show about that because that's another player that we overlooking. It's Paul Mao. So then what I do is I highlight players like that, so that way when they pop off the screen, I could be like, look, I've already seen this coming because this is the situation. And what I don't like is when players talk crazy about a player one time, or I mean at one time, not one time, but at one time, and then when the player prove them wrong, they go with the player and say, "That's my guy." Or they like to say, I love Palomalu, but I just don't think that he going I love this player, but I just don't think I love Max Crosby, really I do, but I just don't think he think he bigger than the nation. Or I love Derek Carr, but I can't stand him, and it was people like that concern me, man. And I used to didn't get caught up on that until I started seeing how them people move in like real life. That says that talk like that. Because I just thought it was an internet thing where you try to hedge your bet so you don't be wrong. I don't care about being wrong. Why y'all think I'm so strong about my opinions? I base my opinions on information, not my feelings. If I want to go off my feelings, I would want to start Mendoza. Off my feelings, yeah, throw him out there. I think the O line good enough to throw him out there too, but I don't know that for sure. But I think we got enough pieces in the play calling that if y'all think that AOC can survive out there, I know for sure Mendoza can survive out there. So if I was going off my feelings, I'd say throw Mendoza out there too. And if we win 5 or 6 games, okay, that's par for the course, but that's still two better than what we had. But the average win is like 4 wins for first year. I think it was 3.7. So let's just say 4 games. So if Mendoza is as advertised and we win 5 or 6 games, let's give it 6 games. If he come in and win 6 games, that's three. That's twice as many games we won last year. Could be okay with that. But see, really, we're not okay with that as Raider fans because really, at the end of the day, we're so thinking playoffs and Super Bowl that you get to comparing it. And I thought we weren't looking at the record this year. That's what y'all said last year. We just need to come in and establish the culture. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Pete Carroll is here to establish culture. Yeah, we're gonna win a bunch of games. He's supposed to say that because we should want to win a bunch of games. Yeah, when I won 10 games every year in my career. Oh, so that means we're gonna win 10 win. No, that's not what he was saying. He was just saying, this is my credit, this is my credibility. Just be patient with me. It might be ugly, but we're gonna win a bunch of games because I bet you we was a better team than 3 wins last year. For sure we were. Macho Man Randy Average. He says, I was very lucky that I got to see Palomalo and Reed face off twice a year for most of my late teens and early late 20s. Steelers, Ravens back then was always a fifth. Yeah, they used to go crazy. Stooks is a hell of a center field safety. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I thought Leaping Lanny Popoff. That's what I thought Lanny Popoff. Oh yeah, yeah, Leaping Lanny. Right, right, right. Wait, he related to Randy Savage? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. He was related to Leaping Lanny Popoff. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me see. Sacktown Raider. Like I said, I'm a co-host of a couple shows. I got called everything in the book because I wasn't all that enamored with Mendoza. A lot of Mendoza fans are over the edge, in my opinion. Let me ask you, Sacktown Raider Mike, because I respect your opinion too, as well. Not that I don't respect all you guys. It's just that some people, not that I agree with them, it's just that they've talked so much that I can rely that their conversation is going to be linear, where you say this, and even if you move a goalpost or two, you ain't moving it from the east field, the east part of the field to the north to the northwest part of it. Like at least I know you're gonna move it from side to side, maybe even further back 5 yards. Not move the goalpost from over here and take it to and put it in another stadium. So my question to you, brother, why didn't you like Mendoza? And can you tell me, do you w- do you think he should start? No, well, obviously you're gonna say no about that, but do you? How did? Well, how? I'm not gonna. I'm not. I'm not trying to lead or nothing. How do you feel about Mendoza? I don't know how you feel about him because I'm not in love with Mendoza because I don't know. So this was the thing with me when it came to Mendoza this year. I'm not really a big college guy, but I do like watching college to watch players on that come up. So when they ball and early in their career, I could be like, oh, I seen that. But I do know that don't always equate to that. I seen Reggie Bush look like he was playing with little 6-year-olds out there. And he came to the league and they was handing it to him. Now, granted, he played nice, but he wasn't that same guy. So the thing with Mendoza, I was like, check this out. Mendoza in Indiana is on this run. Okay. All right. Well, let me start watching in the playoffs these teams because this is where the rubber meet the road. Now we're gonna see what it do. That's how you can tell what kind of quarterback you got is how they play in the big games. They can play one way in the regular season and be medium, but then some players just play better when the stakes is better. I was one of them players. The bigger the game, the better I play. And so Mendoza played. Because I was hearing narratives about, well, he a system quarterback and he it's not that he winning games and all that, which I went back later to watch other games, which was a lie. Mendoza steps up in all the big, not every single one, but all the big situations. He does what a quarterback's supposed to do, rise to the level of the moment. So I watched him. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, he beat Alabama. Okay, everybody's talking about Ty Simpson. Yeah. Oh, he beat this team. Okay, this man got more touchdowns than incompletions. Y'all remember that? So that's why I was scratching my head like, dang, that's efficient than I was. But I know that could be a little fool's goal because that's not something that normally happens. Whatever, they might have schemed good, he played good, whatever. National championship. This is where it all tell it all. I'm watching him. How they bust him in his mouth. Okay, he come back. Everybody, oh my God, Mendoza got busted in the mouth. Da, 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 da. And they did him like that before. Whoop de whoop. Now I did know about him in Cal a little bit, but I already understand Cal is going to only go so high. So that's how I even knew about him. And so then I'm watching the national championship game. I'm just watching the game, just objectively. I don't know Mendoza from nothing, but I'm peeping him because I'm like, this he won the Heisman, whatever. He was undefeated, whatever. Let me see. Then the play happened. Not only was they winning it and on all the third downs, on certain third downs, he was executing on those third downs. If you want to know how much a quarterback is worth, what does he do on third downs? And what does he do on off scheduled plays when it play break down? If you want to know how much a quarterback is worth, look at those two things. Not how far he throw the ball, not how many back soldier. I mean, those are indicators, but no, you want to know something? Look at how he is on third down and when the initial read ain't there and he got to scramble and break the pocket or go to multiple reads. If you want to know what kind of quarterback you got, look at them things. And so he kept performing on them third downs, clutch plays, boom, boom, boom. Then he did the fourth down. Now it's already insane when you was it fourth down on that play where he scored? I think it was fourth down. Yep, because they called a timeout and he said, I already knew we was gonna go for it. Now, and I don't even like to talk about myself so much when I play because I don't like to sound like that I'm bragging or something like that because I wasn't Timothy McVeigh when it came to quarterbacking, but I was Timothy McVeigh when it came to wide receiver. That's why I tell people I was a much better wide receiver than quarterback. But the championship game that I did win, it was because I ran the ball on the fourth down into the end zone. Now, granted, it wasn't as far as Mendoza's. Mine was probably only like about 5, 6 yards or something like that. Mendoza took a couple of hits, spun around, reached out. Not only did he get the first down, he kept going and got hit and reached out. And the presence of mind, just the play call alone already puts a lump of coal in your throat, or you let your balls hang out. They just drop. Not out of fear, but you just know like it's about to be on right now. And even when I ran it, it was a play. I called a pass play. The pass play was called, but I was like the moment I was like, I can't put this on nobody else but me right now. So I ran it up the gut, ran up the gut, just like Mendoza did. But except theirs was a play. They called it. So he had to think about that and was like, and he made the play. And when I saw it, I was like, you can't teach that. Not because I did it, but because I recognize it. Like you can't. I guess part of it is because I did it. I recognize it through experience, but I was like, you can't teach that. So the top of the top, like him being a good quarterback, it's a great quarterback. That tells me, oh, you was a great college quarterback. Not because that just that one play, but that capsulated it. And so I was like, okay, cool. I can go with that. We know the kid got heart. Let's see if he got skills. Oh, he hella smart because he went to Cal. Not only did he get to Cal, he got his business degree from Haas. So I know he's stupid smart. So we got a smart quarterback. He says all the right things. He's family oriented. He grew up with his family. He ain't coming from no disheveled household. It's all these positive things. So I like it, Mendoza. Like, yeah, if it was up to me, I would want to start him. But I know we don't have to. So being that we don't have to, put him over there. It don't have nothing to do with me loving Kirk Cousins. So then when people say you're taking up for Kirk Cousins or you're a Kirk Cousins apologist and all that, I'm like, nah. So now I gotta look at you because you might not know enough about him or you just don't like him personally. Because I know people gonna be saying that all this year with me about Kirk Cousins. I'm gonna be like, especially if it's gonna be something negative happen, I'm gonna be like, look, this is why it's happening. Same thing with Geno. When Geno Smith flipped off the fans, our fans, I was like, I feel him. I know why he's doing it because the regular lay person don't understand what's going on in that quarterback room. You as a quarterback cannot be at odds with your head coach. You can't, and so he wasn't at odds with Pete Carroll, but you also can't be at odds with any of the coaches, especially the one that's calling the plays. So now Geno Smith had a problem with the one that's calling the plays. The one that's calling the plays got a problem with the coach that brought in Geno Smith because he don't want Geno Smith. He want the coach to get fired, Geno Smith to leave, so he can get his own quarterback. I promise you, if Chip Kelly was coaching Fernando Mendoza, you wouldn't have seen them crazy, goofy plays that we would have been running the ball and throwing it right. Frank Weber said, I played at a small school, College of the Red. Oh, wow. You almost got me right there. I was about to be like, you played there? Bro, let me tell you about this team, bro. I'll never forget that game, bro. We used to play them every year, though, but I never forget that game, bro. That's why we thought we was going to go up there and beat them, but it was the big oak tree, redwood trees, and California is the biggest tree. It might be the biggest tree, period, but, bro, that was a story. And you hella funny for that. I would like to go all of 2026 without Mendoza starting. I'm hoping the Raiders keep three quarterbacks on the 53 and AOC can be the backup to Cousins. Well, I think he'll be the backup to Cousins until the trade deadline. I think to the trade deadline. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. I think we're gonna get something for AOC. Would you say you love Charles Woodson? Let me tell you about my boy Charles Woodson. What Charles Woodson used to do. Charles Woodson. So I played three positions: wide receivers, corner, and quarterback. I played a little safety too, like when I got older, but scratch that. Let's just say I played corner. Charles Woodson was my player comp. I love me some Charles Woodson. And so Charles Woodson, being when he was in Oakland, he used to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jack London. So Jack London used to have this restaurant. It's like actually it's kind of like it's right off the water. And they got this nice expensive restaurant. Then they also got like some not as expensive restaurants, but they're nice. You know, everything is nice around there. Then they got a parking garage, big parking garage. Like Saturday night, you would see Charles Woodson down there or whatever. One time I'm walking back to the car, me and my girl walking back to the car. Mind you, I got season tickets to the Raiders at this point. We're walking back to the car and I'm looking. This boy Charles Woodson's in the back seat of the car, toe up, just in the car, in the back seat, just knocked. You know that boy went and balled out the next day. Like Charles Woodson used to be like that. That was how he was. He was like that. So Charles Woodson is my guy. I love me some Charles Woodson for sure. Sacktown, Raider Mike. It's not that I don't like Mendoza, it's that I don't like that he was worth the first overall pick. I think we could have done better trading back and getting a ton of picks. Okay, so let's say we would have traded our number one pick and got what? Another, we would have dropped down and got like another pick. So with those two picks, we would have got a D tackle and what, a wide receiver, and and so to entertain that, because this is the first time I'm really entertaining it all the way. I would have been, not that I would have been okay with it, but I would have been okay with it. No, okay, I would have been okay with it because Kirk Cousins is the quarterback. Because I know he's good enough to start for like a year at least. Like I knew our O line wasn't that far behind. I knew our O line is only like about was only like two pieces away from being cool, being good. Like I know Colton Miller, he's not injury prone like that. He got rolled up on, they held him out because we were garbage. All right, cool. Colton gonna be back, cool. I don't know what's up we're gonna do at left guard. I know I figured JPJ would be our center finally when we get Pete Carroll out of here. DJ Glaze, I mean, he just pretty much was an anchor over there, whether you like him or love him. And then we would have to essentially get another guard. So I'm like, we really only like two or three players away from like on our O line from like solidifying it. We were just playing musical chairs, and then we act like Jordan Meredith wasn't getting his back blew out like he was Pinky um, or Cherokee, and so we just kept going with that. Like, so I was like, once we get our center right, then it was cool. So then we go and get Linderbaum. So that's almost like getting a player and a half to fix the situation. Because now you can solidify with JPJ playing at guard. And you got Glaze, which it is what it is. Then you got Colton Miller. Now you got one space open. You essentially need to get one more starter and some depth pieces. And we did that. So I know our line is gonna be decent. Mhm. So I'd have been okay if we would have went with Kirk Cousins and used the draft picks or whatever to get some other play pieces. Now, if we do that though, and all that kind of works out, and we win 6 games, now we're not gonna pick, and we're not gonna get a. We can get a first round quarterback, and even the argument is that next year's draft is going to be more quarterbacks. Now, are we going to be able to get the Heisman quarterback that went undefeated? No, I don't think so. Are we going to be able to get the Manning kid? No, I don't think so. I don't even think he's coming out next year because the Mannings they play all 4 years. He didn't even start his rookie year. They play all 4 years. They develop. They understand the importance of sitting in development to be so good where you could just defy the odds. And even Peyton Manning, his rookie year was garbage pail kid, right? Mike, I was team trade back too. I was convinced that Spytech could parlay the number one into a big haul. When you guys say a big haul like what though? Because I'm thinking College of the Woods for short. I love you, bro. Bro, I'm just you know what, bro? I love you, bro. I really do, bro. So what do you guys think we would have got for that? Maybe like a first, a second, and a fourth or something. But this is before we even traded old buddy to get the fourth round pick to go get Dalton. Tyree. I can see what y'all saying. Frank, I'm heading to Mendocino in October. I'll be going through parts of Redwood County country. Yeah. Oh, so you know about the College of Redwoods. Jack London Square. Exactly. Yes. Jack London Square. Yes. Yeah, people running to the hills now up there. We could have. we could have got more picks than that, in my opinion. This goes to show that no other teams thought Mendoza was worth giving up decent picks for him. Let's say it that. Sack time Raider Mike. That's that. Were we willing to? Were we willing to give up that? But you saying that no one offered it. So who would have offered it? The Jets. They had hella picks. But even if a lot of teams weren't sold on him, then that means I don't know. Because Brady said that we needed a quarterback, and it's hard to pass up on. We needed a quarterback, and the opportunity was there. And I'm saying it's hard to pass up on a national championship, Heisman Trophy winning, undefeated season having quarterback that's 6'5" and looked the part. Mm. Heisman and Trophy is a popularity contest for QBs nowadays. Yeah, but he didn't win it because of a popularity contest though. I would agree with you on that. I agree with you on that, but he didn't win it because of a popularity contest. I would agree with you overall for sure. Never cry with spilled milk, right? I feel you. The Jets and Dallas had a lot of picks. Yeah, I agree. Let me see it in the video. I love Good Raider. Good Raider hit me and he was like, I'm honestly glad that it got that hot, our conversation, because it came out of nowhere for him because he hadn't given Cousins much thought. And I think that wasn't the consensus overall. I think a lot of people are giving him much thought. And I'm like, you should at least think about him. Like he is going to be the captain of the offense. Like that's like me being a receiver. Like I know I'm dope, but I don't care who the quarterback is because I'm dope. So I'm not going to go look into who the quarterback is because I'm dope. Or I don't know what kind of team I'm gonna be playing on, but I know I'm dope. But I'll make any team better. But I'm gonna look into the quarterback. I don't look into what kind of offense they run. Who knows what the real plan is when we had the 14th as well? Yeah, we was basically the only quarterback this year besides Simpson. Yeah. Do you think Simpson should have went where he went? Do you think Mendoza could have went in the second round? Somebody was gonna take him. Somebody was gonna take him. I think the Jets would have took him. I'm not even convinced the Browns wouldn't have took him. Let me look in my video catalog and see what I'm talking about because I want to. There's some things I want to talk about. Let me see. Yeah, about the extra or something. I know don't nobody work as hard as me in the Raider Nation right now. I know ain't nobody going on 3 times a day. I ain't doing 3 times a day every day, but I'm pulling up like 5 days a week and some days 3 times a day. I looked at all the videos I did last month, like they give you a recap, and I was like, I did more videos than days in the month. Because what I know is that come the regular season, all the regular content creators gonna come out, and I gotta earn my position in the off season. Oh yeah, let me play. Maybe I should play this video. Hold on. Maybe I should. You know what? I'm about to play this just because y'all team late night. Hold on. Hold on. Let me do my Dougie. Let me do my Dougie. And let me know if you guys can hear this. Hold on. I'm about to try something.
The Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders,
I'm sorry.
the Los Angeles
I'm
Raiders,
sorry.
the Raiders.
Let me know if y'all can hear that.
It doesn't matter where they're from. The Raiders are the Raiders, one of the iconic franchises that continues to be highly relevant, even though they have not been highly successful really since they won their last Super Bowl to cap the 1983 season.
Did y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? Because I'm gonna go over this real quick and then I'll do another video tomorrow. Could y'all hear that? Okay, cool. Cool. Let me read what you guys say. This is why I get so much shit when I give my Mendoza thoughts on the show that I do. Well, if people, I don't know if people are peeping though that if when you're that school of thought, I'm not, I'm not critical of that part because that's what you wanted. That was your opinion. That's how you felt. Like, cool, I get it. Like, I understand that part. I don't even question. I don't really argue people with points like that. But if I'm asking you, like, well, how did you get there? And you telling me a whole bunch of stuff that don't logically line up, not that it gotta make sense to me. If it don't line up, then I'm like, well, are you saying that because you just feel that way? Or are you basing that on something? Because if you're just feeling that way as an opinion, then there's nothing for me to argue. Like it, and a lot of my frustration is coming from, and it ain't really so much frustration, but it's kind of irritation. Is like y'all not seeing what's the writing on the wall? Because like Frank said, like Webb said, he wasn't necessarily pro men. I mean pro Cousins day one, but he can see what the franchise is doing. And I see, I didn't know that about him till tonight. I thought maybe he could have been like me, but no, he wasn't like that. He understands what's going on. And then the more and more I looked into it, the more and more it only made sense that we said him. Especially once I got to 25, 82, and 2. Once I got to them numbers, I was like, that's what it is. Now I get it, he could defy the odds, but he don't look like Joe Burrow. He don't look like Joe Burrow. Yeah, I mean, he don't look like I don't know where he at, but I don't think he defying the odds. Not if we ain't got to. Yeah, for sure. I've been said we should do a show together, bro. I've been said that. No, I didn't think you was saying me either, though. And even if you did think that, I would ask, "Was you talking about me?" Or I would just call up. quantify it for myself to you. 'Cause I don't have a problem with explaining myself. Because sometimes I could jump to a conclusions because what they said, the jump to conclusion board. Sometimes I might think you talking to me or somebody talking to me, but no, I didn't necessarily think you was talking to me right then. I didn't. Mendoza was the number one quarterback, at least overall. That was debatable. Mm. Yeah, for sure we should do a show. Let me play this stuff.
Yes, they've been to a Super Bowl, but it didn't go well. And since going to that Super Bowl, they've been to the playoffs twice, and they're 0-2 in the postseason. Are they finally turning it around? They had the opportunity to take Fernando Mendoza with the first overall pick in the draft. There's a belief out there that Kirk Cousins is going to be the starter week 1. And they're going to let Fernando Mendoza sit and watch and learn. And that may be fine in theory, but when you're out on the practice field, if Mendoza is clearly better than Kirk Cousins this deep into his career at this age, late 30s, if Mendoza's clearly better and you've got some grand strategic plan that you're going to let him sit for a year, what's Max Crosby going to say about that? What's Brock?
Hold on. See where you okay. Mike Furio. First of all, y'all gotta know his background. You gotta know who he's an attorney, ex practicing attorney. So you gotta listen to it. So let me tell you about my background. I'm a certified paralegal. I got like 2 criminal justice degrees, AA degree uh, in paralegal studies, and starting January, I'm about to start going to law school too. Right, so working my way back to law school, should I say? Um, so I have a legal mind, so I listen to every word. That's why a lot of times I can get information without giving you with my own personal. I don't have to have a dog in the fight to be able to go back and forth with you about what the topic is. I can even have an opinion and argue your opinion to you. I can argue my counter opinion. I'm trained to do that. I'm trained to, if I think this, what's the counter argument to that? To strengthen my own argument. I haven't even gotten to what my what I personally think. I'm just looking at the what they used to call the fact sheet, the fact pattern, like the facts of the case before I can come. Because the number one thing I learned about being a lawyer is postpone your judgment. Now, the only reason why I'm jumping out the window on my takes is because this is a podcast and it has to be entertaining, and I don't have no problem drawing my line somewhere and making an educated guess, especially if I have enough information to really make a good inference. Because I won't jump out the window on something that I'm like almost certain about. But if I hear a piece of information that might sway my opinion a different way, I'll do that and I'll tell people, hey, I got this piece of information. This changes everything for me. I have no problem with doing that. Now, listen to this guy talking about uh if the Raiders got this elaborate plan and this guy is playing this good, this deep into his career, first of all, what's that good? What's that good? What is it? What does that good look like in camp for? And that's why I asked that question. What do the stats have to be for Mendoza to start over Kirk Cousins? But he took it somewhere else. He took the question that looked like one thing and went over here with it. What does Max Crosby got to say about it? What does Brock Bowers? Who cares what they got to say about it? They're not the coach. Brock Bowers don't even care, man. Brock Bowers just want to catch footballs and run down the field. But let's just say Brock Bowers do care. Let's say that Max Crosby, we know he care. You think Max Crosby is going to dictate to Kubiak who our quarterback is? So I know that this Mike Furio guy, he knows the answer to that is no. But what he will do is he will phrase the question in a way where it will incite people in the media, because that's what he does, to do this for clicks and likes and attention. Now he might believe some of this, but I know he don't believe all of it. You gotta understand, attorneys, a lot of times attorneys don't even have a feeling about it, one way or the other. I'm a paralegal and can do that. So attorneys definitely got to do it.
What's Brock Bowers going to say about that? What's any veteran player going to say? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The NFL has evolved to the ultimate 1 year at a time sport. And we have a guy who we can all tell at every practice is better than Kirk Cousins as of right now.
Okay, let's stop right there. First of all, we all don't, but let's not assume he doesn't mean all. Let's assume that he means majority. How how, how did we come to that conclusion? First of all, we're talking about OTAs. And how do you know he's better than Kirk Cousins in OTAs? Not that OTAs really even matter, because it don't. You don't win in spring ball or summer camp, or no, not summer camp, because it ain't even summer camp yet. In spring ball. Like, he framing it that way as if that's a fact. Like, what have we seen? What First of all, even if you did see something, he's running with the threes and he's running with the ones. All that don't matter. That don't matter right now. That don't even matter when training camp start. It only matters only in the sense that, okay, if you're number one, you have a spot to lose. Somebody else got to come take it, like Spencer Burford. Do I have an IG? I do have an IG. What's your IG? Mine's is, hold on, because I don't even use it that much, but I'm gonna start using it. And I have two that got similar names. It's EBH underscore black. EBH underscore black. I don't just do I don't just do sports. I do like relationship stuff. Imagine that, right? I do a bunch of different. I got like a network. EBH. This is for you late nighters. When you on the late night, this is Tailgate Thursday. Thursday tailgate with the Raider bad guy. But my nick EBH stands for everybody hates black, because they hate that no matter what my opinion is, somebody gotta hate it or want to fight it or argue it. Don't matter. It could be just my opinion. I ain't even trying to prove my opinion. Just for some reason, everybody likes to hate on black. Everybody hates black. That's what EBH stands for. Oh, the camera must be like, it's time to go to bed, bro. It's like, but hold on. Let's finish this video up, and then I'm gonna get up out of here.
But you've got this plan that you're going to groom Fernando Mendoza by having him not play, by deliberately choosing the lesser guy to be the quarterback. Good luck with that one, Clint Kubiak. I just don't buy it. I remember in 2012 when the Dolphins made Ryan Tannehill a top 10 pick and he was third on the depth chart. I remember thinking that, he's going to start. You want to give the guy a way to feel like he's accomplished something, and you want to erase any perception that he's had something handed to him. And then he goes out and he earns it, and he proves he's the best option. And when he's named the starter, it doesn't feel like he was just given something that he hasn't fully and completely earned. So the biggest question is this. All due respect to Kirk Cousins, which always means here comes the insult. But
I was just about to say, I was just about to tell y'all about lawyer speak now. I was about to tell you all about lawyer speak. Anytime they try to give you a little compliment, Here comes the hammer. This guy on your video is a microphone holder, not even the guy in front of the mic. Please don't listen to him.
I like it a Kirk Cousins, Chris Sims would say. But the biggest question is this. All due respect to Kirk Cousins, which always means here comes the insult. But I like it a Kirk Cousins, as Chris Sims would say. But if you got the first overall pick in the draft and you've used it on a guy who can't beat out Kirk Cousins in a quarterback competition, you've picked the wrong guy. You should have picked somebody else.
Okay, were they saying that about Penix then? Are they saying Penix was the wrong guy? You ain't hear not one person say they picked Penix and Penix was the wrong guy.
Somebody else. The first overall pick in the draft. If that guy can't walk through the door and win the job over Kirk Cousins, you screwed it up. And I know that Patrick Mahomes sat for a year, but the Chiefs were a well-oiled machine, and Alex Smith was taking them to a point every year. And they gave Alex Smith one more year. And they even resisted during a stretch where the offense was sputtering and the team was losing games. They resisted the temptation to put Mahomes out there. But the
How do you know that? Well, how do you know that? How do you know that? Based on what? I'm not saying it's not even true. How do you know that? Are you inferring that they struggled with that? And even if they did struggle with it, they struggled with it long enough to put him in late in the season on a team that's already well-oiled. So that sound like that was a smart thing to do is to fight the urge, unlike what we're doing.
the Chiefs had
No,
the
no, no,
luxury.
no, no. I'm sorry. Unlike what the fans are doing, because we're fighting the urge to do it, and we're not going to play them game one.
Of doing that. They even resisted during a stretch where the offense was sputtering and the team was losing games. They resisted the temptation to put Mahomes out there. The Chiefs had the luxury of doing that. The Raiders don't. The Raiders need to get better ASAFP.
See, but so let me figure this out. Clint Kubiak went and got Kirk Cousins to be a bridge quarterback, and based on what this guy is saying, he's so if he's so inept, excuse me, that Mendoza should be able to beat him out. Okay, if Mendoza could beat him out, why did we go get Kirk Cousins to begin with? If we needed a backup, we already had one with AOC. Raider Ryan was good with you, brother, on the late night. It's a tailgate talk on Thursday night. Thursday night tailgate with the Raider bad guy, aka Black the quarterback. Which reminds me, a lot of these people, if they make me mad enough, I'm gonna expose how much they really don't know about football. Because then I'll just start asking them about football questions and football things for real. Like, do y'all know the difference between a cover two and a cover three? Like, and what the principles are in it, and how do you read it? Like, I assume that a lot of people do know these things, but I'm starting to wonder.
And if Mendoza's the better player, he needs to start. And if he's not the better player than Kirk Cousins at this point in his career, you've screwed up the first overall pick. It's that simple.
It's not. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. If Kirk Cousins is not better, even if they put Kirk Cousins out there and he ain't better than Mendoza, and Mendoza come in halfway through the year or even next year, he's still gonna be a rookie next year. He's still a rookie. Now, is he a rookie for your awards and all that? Probably not. No, he won't be the rookie of the year, all that. But that's not what we're playing for. We're not playing for no adulations and awards. He just phrased this as if like it's either all or nothing. Like, is he gonna say anything about AOC?
It's that simple. So, as I said, good luck selling to Max Crosby, Brock Bowers, and any other veterans who are desperate to win more games than they lose, or to win a third.
So you think you can win more games with Mendoza than Kirk Cousins?
Third of the games that they lose. To just be anything relevant in a very difficult AFC West. If Mendoza is better, forget about this idea that we're going to put him on ice for a year, let him learn the ropes that way. There's no replacement for getting out there and getting reps. Seeing the
Yeah, it is. The replacement is you sit back and you learn first. That's what they did. That's what Mendoza did. I mean, that's what Mahomes did. And then people don't like the comp with Aaron Rodgers and all that. Like, so now you got to be a Hall of Fame quarterback in order to sit behind him. No, it's about the concept. The concept is I'm gonna have you learn behind somebody, and then when I put you in, it's not too much. It's not like trying to drink out of a fire hose.
doesn't slow down until you have a chance to experience the game at high speed. You got to go through that stuff. And if you're not wired to do that, if you're not built to do that, you shouldn't have been the first overall pick. It's that simple. It's the ultimate litmus test. So we'll find out. Find out. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching.
Mike Florio don't know what he's talking about. He's just a lawyer. He's just saying stuff, and I can see through it. So, yeah, it's always that. Well, folks, I know it's late where you guys are. It's 1 o'clock on the East Coast. In Sacktown, did you find my IG? Oh, is that your IG, Sacktown Raider Mike? Here we go, Frank. This is smartness. Thankfully, almost every position was addressed at some point during the offseason. That made a luxury pick at least sensible. Yes, yes, I agree wholeheartedly. I agree wholeheartedly. But let me see. Well, I'm just having so much fun. I just like being on live with you guys. Yeah, I think we just have a lot of emotional ties to players. We just have a lot of emotional ties to the players. And these are the same people that say that no one's bigger than the shield, but they put players above each other. Take a shot. I earned it tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna get up tomorrow. I'm gonna do this show at 11 West Coast time. Do my show that I was gonna talk about. I knew I shouldn't have played that clip from Peterson earlier because I want to talk about what we should be looking at when it comes to training camp. Thanks, chat, for sure. But I'll get with you guys in the AM. I appreciate you guys' love. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your understanding. Because I'm just the way I is. You feel me? I'm just very passionate. Shout out to y'all Raiders. You know I love y'all.
I'm a raider from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.